Okay, we are rounding to a given number of significant figures. Again, look at the foundation videos, it's an absolute must. I've done a couple there, I'll do a couple here for you as well. Page 13, this is rounding, and it says round these numbers to one significant figure. This is question 1. So question 1a, I've got to round off 1725.251 to one significant figure. Please note, not one decimal place, but one significant figure, one important figure, one main figure. So the choice is 1000 or 2000, and you must pick the correct one. Well, treat it in the usual way as you would do even with decimal places. Say to yourself, what will the 7 do to the 1? Answer, it will raise it up to 2, because 5 or more push it up. So basically our answer is going to be 2000 to one significant figure. Alright, so look at it logically. 1700 is a lot nearer to 2000 than 1000. Alright, next one, which is B. I won't keep writing the letters. Anyway, I've got 5.5921. I want that to one significant figure. The choice is it going to be 5 or is it going to be 6? Well, let's see what the next figure along does. Yep, 5 or more. What's that going to do? Push it up. So 5.5921 is approximately, I should be squiggly, approximately 6 to one significant figure. Just going to jump a few more now. 153.29. Again, I'm only allowed to have one significant figure, one key important figure, and so I'm going to chop it straight after the first figure and ask myself, what's the 5 going to do to the 1? And it's going to push it up. So that's approximately 200 to one significant figure. Is that fair enough? 153, it's gone over halfway, is nearer to 200 than 100. I want to do the last question in question 1 because I want to highlight one particular issue here. 0.0135. Now, what's that to one significant figure? Now, this first 0 after the decimal place is not significant. You start looking at this figure here as being your first potential figure and what the 3 would do to the 2. So I'm going to chop it right here. Otherwise, to one significant figure, I'll just call that 0 and completely ignore what's happening down the line. So, what's the 3 going to do to the 1? So, is 3 5 or more? No, it's not. So it won't push it up to 0.02, it would leave it as 0.01. And that's it to one SF. In the same way, let's just change page because we're talking about two significant figures now in question 2, and they've got exactly the same questions as in question 1. So let's just do this first one again using 2SF. So 1725 spot 251. I want two important figures, so here I go. 1, 2, chop it down. What will the 2 do to the 7? Well, 5 or more, push it up. That's the rule. It's going to do absolutely nothing at all. So therefore, I've got 1 is significant, the 7 is significant, and the other 2 figures I fill up with zeros, they're not significant. 1700 to 2 significant figures. Moving on, I've got 5.5921. I want to have 2 important figures. 1, 2, chop it right there. What will the 9 do to the 5? It's going to push it up to 6 because it's 5 or more to push up. So I'm going to have 5.6 using 2 significant figures. Next one, 153.29. 1, 2, chop. What will you do to you? Absolutely nothing because the 3 won't push the 5 up to a 6. So I'm left with 150. No point don't write 0.00 because you've introduced extra figures that are not relevant. So there's your 2 important figures. It wouldn't be right just to call it 15 because 153 is not near 15, it's near 150. So that's the 2 significant figures. And the last one, 0.0135. Again, I want 2 significant figures according to the question. Remember, the first 0 is not significant, the figures start here. So 1, 2, chop. Will the 5 push the 3 up? Yes, it will. 5 or more push it up. 0.01 4, and that's about it. There's other questions I could do. I won't do that one. I might do Kieran and John actually, just looks like a nice little question. Alright, so Kieran and John is question 3. I'll probably stop with this one because you've got the idea about rounding, plus you've got the foundation vids to go with it. Anyway, Kieran and John count their collection of marbles. Great, they enjoy marbles. John has got 18 more than Kieran. I better write that because I'll forget it. So John has 18 more than Kieran. How does he spell his name? The usual way. Okay, right, Kieran. And it says here, rounding to the nearest 10, John has 50 marbles. So John's got 50 and Kieran's got 40 marbles. Now they're both rounded to the nearest 10. Let's just play with this a minute. So John could have as much as 54, or as many as 54, because it was 55, you'd round it up to 60, wouldn't you? Or he could have as few as 45, because 5 or more will push it up to 50. Is that alright? So we're playing with upper and lower bounds really, and that's coming up next. So I think that's what they're hinting at. So in terms of rounding to the nearest 10, 45 can go up to 50, 54 can be dropped down to 50. So that's fair. We'll do the same for Kieran. He could be as low as 35, that will push up to 40, or it could be as high as 44, and that will drop him down to 40 if you round it off to one significant figure. As you can see, the nearest 10, there's only one significant figure there and there. Now, John has 18 more than Kieran. Write down the possible numbers of marbles each boy might have. Now, let's have a look. 18. What is it from there to there? John could have, let's say, if John has 54, if I take away 18, again I'm doing this by experiment live, not sure what's going to happen now. So if John's got a 54 maximum and I take away 18, is Kieran allowed to have 36? Yes he is, because he can be as low as 35 but not more than 44. So that's one answer. John could have 54, Kieran could have 36. What about another one? Can Kieran go as low as 35? Yes he can. If he goes as low as 35 and I'd 18 onto that, so if Kieran's got, let's do Kieran over here, if Kieran has got 35 and I must add 18 onto that, what will I get? So here I go, 35 plus 18. Is John allowed to have 53? Yes he is allowed to have 53, because he's allowed to have up to 54. So therefore these are my two answers. John can have 54 and Kieran can have 36. One set of answers. John can have 53 and Kieran can have 35. Okay, can't drop any lower than that, so I think that's where we're going. Alright, so these are the two sets of answers and I'm very happy with that, and I'm now going to stop the video and move on.